Welcome to another episode of the 825 Technologies podcast. I'm your host, Dan Day, founder, CEO of 825 Technologies.
And I'm Tim, Senior Tech at 825 Tech. Great to be back for episode 70. Woot woot.
That's right, man. That's right. And today, we've got some pretty exciting developments to discuss. So let's kick off. Let's get into DeepSeek, the great little search engine that could. They just released a really significant update to their version 3 large language model.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, on March 25th, DeepSeek made this upgrade model available through Hugging Face. What's interesting is the Chinese startup is really making waves in the AI sector, competitive directly with giants like OpenAI and Anthropic.
Yes. Yes, and Anthropic is a cool one. I like Claude. Claude does good work. I feel like there should be like Monsieur Claude. But anyway, yeah. So with DeepSeek though, they got this improvement. The new version, really, the improvements are in reasoning and coding capabilities. So yeah, I mean that's kind of big when you look at small businesses. So Tim, what's your take on how this is going to affect small businesses?
Well, DeepSeek is definitely gaining attentions because their models perform at a similar level to ChatGPT. Ooh, but at lower cost. For
Right.
SMBs with limited budgets, this could be a game changer to make advanced AI capabilities more accessible.
Yes. And that's, I mean, small business, it comes down to the dollar, right? Because, I mean, if you're a small business and you're eking out a 10% profit,
Mm-hmm.
10% of 2 million's a lot less than
It is a lot
10%
less.
of 2 billion. So it does come down to that dollar, especially when a bag of Fritos is $6. So, even Apple, their CEO, Tim Cook, he said that the DeepSeek model, in his words, are excellent.
Hmm.
Now, it was a conference in China. So, I mean, you don't go to China and say, oh, it's crap. I think they detain you for that. But
Right.
who knows? But no, in all honesty, he did mention that there's any innovation that drives efficiency is a good thing. And really, that's what small business, they need that. They need that efficiency. Yeah.
I think this is where our MSP services, 825 Technologies, can really help businesses navigate through these options.
Yeah.
Many as SMBs don't even have in-house expertise and evaluate and implement AI solutions.
That is a really great point. Yeah. So it's funny, over the last, I'd say 6 months, we've been spending a lot of time with companies helping them not only implement AI tools and specific needs, but looking at their budget, coming up with policies for their company of what they're going to use AI for. And it's not just about the technology, it's about using it effectively. Another interesting thing for small businesses to put on their radar is Bill Gates. You got, Tim Cook talking about it. Bill Gates is talking about AI. He said that in 10 years, AI will replace most teachers and doctors.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not hard getting an appointment with AI. It's near impossible getting an appointment with your doctor. So in every 7 months, every 7 months right now, the task capabilities of AI is doubling.
Wow.
Yeah.
And even more affordable options like DeepSeek entering the market, and we'll see an increased interest from our clients who previously thought AI was out of reach of their business's size.
So true.
Mm-hmm.
So not only can we, through our MSP offering, help with that, the other side that we have is bunker cybersecurity. And really, through those VCIO services, we can start to tweak in a strategy where not only does it pay for our VCIO service, but they're seeing this huge efficiency gain and profit gain that they didn't have before. So I mean, it's pretty amazing. AI has changed a lot. So, in your life, is there anything that's really standing out that you use it for now that, man, it's so much easier?
Well, I think, I mean, questions like sometimes even like you Googling stuff and all that, you never get a good answer. But the good thing is with these AIs, I mean, they're just go through things thousands of times faster than us and human, finding a good answer for you. I like using that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyday tasks. I mean, I could just see cars and everything taking over, and it's good. It's gonna be pretty cool out there in the future.
It will. It will. There's a part of me that's, uncertain about, well, what are we going to do? Like, how are we going to earn money?
True.
But there's always, it never changes, right? I'm sure people thought that when the tractor came around, and these
All
farmers
right.
were like, well, how are our farm hands going to earn money? Well, you end up farming more land, I guess. I don't know.
And save your hands.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, our next topic, it's actually pretty concerning, and it's been in the news a lot. So the Pentagon issued. This is funny because I mean, if you haven't been paying attention, there's been this huge signal breach of our national security about some bombings of Houthi rebels. But so the Pentagon, back March 18th, they issued a department-wide advisory warning about vulnerabilities in the Signal messaging app.
What's fascinating about the timing is it came just days before a major security breach where top national security officials accidentally included journalists in the Signal chat about bombing. I said that how UN
Houthi,
sites
yeah,
in
those
Yemen.
Houthis. Yeah, yeah. So the Houthis over in Yemen. So what's funny is the memo that was issued, like, hey, watch out, Signal could be problematic. It specifically warned that Russian professional hacking groups are employing the linked devices features to spy on encrypted conversations. So,
Ooh,
in layman terms, that means they got eyes on your phone. They have spyware on your phone so that they're not having to intercept the message and decrypt it. They're just watching it on your phone in its unencrypted state.
scary. Hmm.
Yes.
It explicitly stated that while third-party messaging apps like Signal are allowed for unclassified accountability and recall exercises, they're not sanctioned for processing or storing non-public unclassified data.
Yes. So
Hmm.
this raises huge questions about secure communication for business as well, right? First off, you just kind of have to sit for a minute and understand, I guess, there's a lot going on in anybody's day, and that you have to respect the procedures and standard operating procedures for what they are. They keep people safe. They were created as guardrails to make sure not only do you get to the correct destination, but you do so with minimal damage to everything and everyone around you. Yes. So, like for our clients, many use encrypted messaging apps for sensitive internal stuff. Whether you're doing DD 2345 class of or confidential unclassified information, whether you're working in HIPAA, any client information, whether you're working in finance, banks or financial institutions, financial advisors, insurance brokers, some of those clients of ours, they have to send things encrypted and securely, right? So, yeah.
Exactly. And Signal has responded to these concerns, saying that they're not aware of any vulnerabilities that haven't already addressed publicly. Their spokesman mentioned they introduced additional safeguards months ago to protect against phishing attacks. Ooh.
Phew. Kind of funny. They're like, well, this isn't our fault that there's spyware on your phone. And they're right, honestly. Like, if you got spyware on your phone, that's not theirs to own. It does kind of highlight why cybersecurity isn't just a one-time setup, though.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's always like, well, why is there a recurring charge associated with your cybersecurity services? It's like, well, because this environment changes hourly, not just daily, every
Minutes.
hour.
2 minutes.
Yes. Yeah. So there's this constant monitoring, constant updates. Yeah. Which, hey, that's what bunkers for. Bunker cybersecurity, right? We just hammer out those updates, never
Shaboom.
ending. It is funny. Microsoft lately has just exploded with the amount of updates that they offer each day.
And here it comes. Have some
Yeah.
more.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this incident is a perfect example of why compliance and cybersecurity needs to go hand in hand. Even the Pentagon is struggling with these issues. Oh,
Absolutely. I read that the Department of Agriculture hasn't passed an audit think it was it was one of our big departments in like 10 years.
Oh,
Right.
geez.
So yeah, the
Audit.
compliance
Wow.
thing, yeah, is a big deal. So any of our clients that are in that regulated industry, we always emphasize the importance of using not only approved communication channels for sensitive information, but also best practices on safety, cybersecurity, phishing, email, the whole nine.
Right. Hmm.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Well, kind of segueing into that. So we're talking about security, yeah,
Mhm.
compliance and all that. There's some really positive news for privacy advocates. If you're
Hmm.
like me, I like to know that not that I'm hiding anything, but I want people reading my messages I'm sending to my wife or, you know, seeing what my daughters are looking up on the internet. There's just so much that's out there. When we were kids, Tim, I mean, we could sneak out, do something, and nobody'd know, and there's no record of it, right?
I hope not. Unless there's a government person just like around the corner.
Oh, Tim, you got stories, man. We might have, no, I'm just kidding. Uh, yeah. Well, now, kids, I mean, they get out there, stuff gets on social media, it's there forever. I
Yep.
feel bad for
Everything
them.
is watched, unfortunately. It's just so hard to avoid. And
Yeah.
like you said, back in the day, it's nice to have that. We didn't have that much in like online anything. Everything was either written down or something else.
Yeah. Well, privacy advocates, we can rejoice now. March 21st, the French National Assembly rejected a very controversial proposal that would have undermined end to end encryption.
Hmm. Oh, this
Yeah,
was part of the Drug Trafficking Act, right?
you
Hmm.
are correct.
The,
Yes.
the provision would have required messaging platforms like Signal, WhatsApp to allow hidden access to private conversations. Ooh, there you go.
Exactamungo, Tim. Yes. So there was a decent amount of pressure from what I read on the French, like as far as the Interior Ministry, they were hopeful that they could get this, but lawmakers struck down the provision that would have essentially created a backdoor to these private apps like Signal and to WhatsApp.
Wow. What's interesting, it follows France's previous stance in 2016 when they rejected a similar amendment to the Digital Republic law. It
Yeah.
shows a consistent approach to protecting encryption.
Vive la France!
Right.
Yeah. I mean, hey, there you go.
Right.
They might not have put up a good fight in World War II, but man, they're doing it now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely a decision that has global implications. And I think you've got, UK, you've got US, you've got Australia, and they're continuing to push for this same type of anti-encryption policies. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, so I think that it's good that France is kind of the leader in it, and also proving like it's okay. There've always been encrypted messages that couldn't be decoded. That's life. Get
Oh
over
yeah,
it.
we all like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. The government doesn't need to know everything.
No, not at
That's all
all.
right.
Well, it's crazy. Is because it's a country you would never think about coming up with some kind of great idea.
You'd expect them to turn out another great wine or another wonderful cheese like brie, and instead they're like,
You get that, you get a free bottle.
yeah, it's a good deal. Yeah.
Uh, I know Apple has been fighting this battle in the UK. They even withdraw their encryption feature from UK users rather than comply with government demands for backdoor access.
Yeah, that was last month too.
Wow.
They didn't remove it from US users. US still has it, but it's enough that makes me wonder, ooh, how long is that going to last in the US?
Mm.
So that could be problematic. So it's something our clients need to be aware of, especially those with any international operations, because the regulatory landscape around encryption is starting to vary significantly based on country.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
And it's constantly evolving. That's why the compliance services through Bunker Cybersecurity, including keeping our clients updated for these regulatory changes.
exactly. Yep. So we do help business navigate those complex requirements, keeping
Hmm.
them secure, keeping
Hmm.
them ready. getting a strong posture around these compliance things. And I think it's hard too because we have traded so much of our freedom for convenience.
Mhm.
And so, our kids coming up, the next generation, uh, they won't know what it's like to live without DoorDash,
Right.
right? They won't know what it's like to not have AI sitting there waiting for them to ask random questions and get incredibly accurate information from it.
Uh-huh.
They won't. Man, we had to go to the library,
Oh,
you
I
know.
know. Right?
Yeah, and sometimes you'd find stuff and it would be in reference book you couldn't check out.
Oh, yeah,
So
that's true.
you had to have a pocket full of dimes because to copy a page was a dime,
Oh, I do remember that. Wow.
and so they won't know that. It's wild.
Mom, can I get some more dimes?
Right, right. And they had change machines, and it would only spit out dimes, and you're like, you're getting change because some of the machines, at least at the Westville Public Library, some of them, like the Coke machine,
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have a dollar bill thing.
Oh,
And
so
so
you used
if you wanted water, you'd put in a dollar and get like 20 dimes or 10 dimes. Start feeding in 5 dimes anyway.
and that's the year Andy went to the bank with his change.
Exactly. Oh man. So we'll hit on our final topic here for this episode 70. And it's about Samsung. We
Mm.
Last episode we talked about their new user interface coming out, but they have another great drop, if you will, and it's some smart glasses. Later this year they're
Ooh.
set to launch.
Well, that's exciting. According to the reports, Samsung is finally finalizing a product codename Heaton. What is
Yeah.
it? That we released
Shannon?
alongside Hanen? We'll find out when they say it.
That's right.
And this will be released alongside their Project Mohan, a
Yeah.
mixed reality headset. Meow.
Yes. Muhan, I guess. Muhan? Yeah, so the smart glasses are apparently going to feature a built in display that overlays information directly on the lenses, kind of augmented reality. And then they'll also have speakers integrated for audio feedback.
Well, that's interesting about the design of Samsung is focusing on comfort and eliminating the need for remote controls or physical buttons. Instead, they're incorporating cameras and sensors for gesture-based interactions. That's pretty cool.
Sounds like they're taking a different approach from what Meta's done with the Ray-Ban glasses. They
Mm-hmm.
do have some physical controls on those.
Right. And these glasses will likely run on Google Android XR operating systems. Ooh. There are also reports they will integrate with Google Gemini AI assistants. That's interesting.
Yes, could be a game changer for businesses that are looking to implement some augmented reality solutions. So I'm thinking of things like, I don't know, health, doing some surgeries, and you have an overlay of what to do next, or like manufacturing, your standard, you know, bombs or bill of materials and procedures are packaged in it. So as you're like walking through the factory, it's showing arrows of where to go find this product.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh, yeah, or retail, just you're looking around the store and you're wondering what price something is. It just shows up immediately.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool. That will help a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, absolutely. I mean, and through our IT project services at 825 Technology, we could help business integrate these new devices into their existing infrastructure.
Yeah. Yeah. We've already started talking to some of our manufacturers about this actually, about, hey, what does this hold for the future of being able to look at a CNC machine and in real
Oh, yeah.
time see what percentage that CNC machine is done running its program, right? Because if you
Hmm.
got your glasses and you just look over at it and it's like, oh, 80% bar graph, that one's at 60%.
That's really cool.
Yeah, this much time left. It helps people plan. Oh, that's got 5 minutes left. Yeah, I
Oh,
can
the
go
bitch
do this
be
other job
awesome.
real quick. Yeah, be
Wow.
pretty cool.
It
Be
would.
pretty cool. And then, the coolest part for us is we could even develop a little custom app through Sheepdog Design Studio that could play into the, capability of the smart glasses. So I'm thinking of property management companies that we could build them an app. So while they're walking around, people are walking around, the app would show them what stores have like deals or specials going on. So
Ooh,
yeah, like you're walking around Easton per se, and you can see, oh, check that out. Filson has
right?
flannel shirts for 20% off. I'm gonna go get myself a Filson
Better get
flannel.
it on.
Get me another flannel. I only have 20 of these.
Well, I'm also particularly interested in how these are going to compare to the Apple AR glasses. The wearable AR market is really heating up on
It
this.
is, sir. It is, and Apple's got to get on the ball here. Yeah. So I think Samsung's saying that end of the year they'll have a batch of 500,000 units, so 500,000, and it's possible they'll have an announcement at their next Unpacked event in July. So we'll keep a close eye on that. Who knows?
So everyone's going to be wearing glasses in the future.
It is. What movie was that? I think it was Minority Report, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's something like
Yeah.
there's that other cartoon based like movie that Steven Spielberg made that started in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Ready
Do you know
Player
what I'm
One. Yes. Yeah, that was it. That's an example. Yeah.
That's what I was trying
It's
to
a good
remember.
example of this.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I do foresee that they'll go ahead and put like retinal scanners in the glasses so that your glasses will only show displays when they're on your eyes.
Wow.
I could see things like that happening pretty
Right.
quickly. Uh it does. I mean, the nice thing is you take them off, right? You put them in your pocket. You don't have to wear them. So that's good at least. But it might help people's necks, that they don't have to always be looking down at their phone. They can look. Yeah, we won't get phone neck anymore. So there's some positives. Hopefully people take them off when they're out in nature and enjoy everything that's outside without
Right.
being bombarded with information and all kinds of stuff we don't need.
Right.
So, yeah.
Man.
Well, that about wraps up our discussion for today. We've covered DeepSeek's AI model. We talked about the Pentagon's warning about Signal, France's rejection of the encryption backdoor, and then Samsung's upcoming smart glasses.
It's been a packed episode. As always, if any of our listeners have questions about these technologies that might impact their business, our team at 825 Technologies is here to help.
That's right. Whether you need some MSP services, managed service, IT projects, whether you need some web hosting or you're looking at increasing your marketing presence, we can do that through Sheepdog Design Studio. And if you have questions about new regulatory updates, compliance, any cybersecurity items, definitely reach out to us at Bunker Cybersecurity. We've got you covered.
Well, thank you for listening to episode 70 of 825 Technologies podcast. We'll be back next time with more insight on the latest tech developments.
Until then, stay secure and tech savvy.